that it? All right. Well, good morning, everyone. We're bringing you today a little bit different. I'm used to being on the floor and running workouts or being worked out myself, but we got a little bit of feedback that we liked the mindfulness part at the end of the last workout. So given the time that we're in and the potential struggles, elevations of mood, and just everything being out of order, we figured we'd go through a little bit of what is happiness, what's gratitude, how can I stay on schedule with food and fitness. We'll see where this goes. So the hope is that we get a couple people that we ask questions to, and then maybe we get some feedback from you guys, and we can create some sort of dialogue thing going here, and we'll see where we go, because this is a whole lot easier on me, and it's a whole lot more interesting if if I'm not just the only one speaking. But so this is Keelin, and we got Angie here at the camera. So
good morning.
We'll begin. I'm just going to ask a little bit of questions to Angie until we start getting some people popping up, and it would be my hope that you guys can start responding too. So, Angie Nation, what are some challenges that you guys are facing as a, let's say, business owner, and then as a person with all of this going on?
You're asking me?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, right now, challenges. I mean, obviously it is, Matt's laughing at me. When you put the whole package together for us personally, we got 4 kids at home, trying to run a business right now that has no money coming through the front door, which does not get us down. The things that we're doing right now for the community, the team, the positive, the most inspiring thing of this whole thing is our staff. It's amazing. Our team meeting the other day when we made that decision, and we cried. Some of us got mad, then we laughed. You know, Matt and I walked away from that feeling so proud and just happy to be around people that are like us. You know, when we all get together, we're all, especially us trainers, us in this little fitness industry, are going through the same hardships. So surround yourselves with the people that, you know, they can relate. We can all relate. We can share. And like I said, you can laugh, you can get mad, you can cry, but then you have to come above that. That's the most important thing. I call it the rabbit hole. You can't stay in it. You have to come out of it. And it's the people, for me, the people you surround yourself around that will help you with that.
That was good. And then that's what I was writing down, was like birds of a feather kind of flock together. So if you go through a hard time, whether it may be business or years ago, or it's who do you have your support around you? Do your friends, did they listen to a complaint or a gripe, and do they jump on, or do they actually say, hey, I want you to look at this in a different light, or let's try to find something positive that we can pull out of this? So at least personally, the better people that I place around myself, it is a lot easier to keep my goals focused into the positive and keep me moving, because I mean, believe it or not, I ebb and flow emotionally, you know, up and down sometimes every day, and it has to be, for me, I wake up and I have to try to set a mindset, being like, no, I'm not going to fall back down that rabbit hole, because once you're in the rabbit hole, it just goes. My food goes, my fitness, my workouts start to drop, my work with my one-on-one clients here, my interactions with them, I don't feel alive, so I can't give, you know, a beautiful fresh water out of a polluted well, so to speak. So the people around us are super important they say iron sharpens iron, and I'm a fan of that. If you got some strong people, it's going to be a lot easier to keep you strong. So same thing to you. How are you dealing with everything?
Probably a lot of the same stuff that you guys said. I think the biggest challenge is, I know a lot of us trainers that emerge, we almost all have toddlers. So having the kids at home, our Simon is not old enough to understand why the parents are home, so he thinks it's great and just wants to play the whole time. So it's just really hard to figure out how you can work and how you can be a parent at the same time. But it's just that constant working on balance, the constant communication of what's going on. I have had multiple conversations along the line of just having the right people around you that know nothing about this situation is ideal, but we're not the only people going through it, so I have to remember that this is not a poor me situation. And yeah, we have like a really awesome group of people around us that are very supportive, that we allow each other to emote. I know that's one of my biggest issues is I surprisingly take on way too much.
No way.
So I will try to like take everybody's burdens onto myself and be like, I am fine, I am doing fantastic, and then we'll crash and burn. That's just been one of my own biggest issues that I've been working on. But to just like allow yourself to emote, cry if you need to cry, be angry if you need to be angry, and don't let it become something that rules your entire day, but like get it out, let it actually be a real emotion, accept that emotion. And again, if you have the people around you who respect that you feel that way and will listen to you, will let you express that and accept it, you don't feel judged around them, then it's easy to just kind of be like, you know what, I'm really angry at this moment, let me work through it, and then I will come back, and like you said, then I will be able to give you that product, but and you won't burn out. You'll be able to keep going. And again, we don't know when this will end. That's one of the weird things is we don't know, like, is this we go back to normal tomorrow? Is it we go back to normal in a month? But as long as you just allow yourself to feel your emotions and surround yourself with the right people who respect that and don't judge you and just keep motivating you, then we're all going to be okay.
Very nice. No, I'm taking notes as we're going on. We have nothing planned to talk about today. We'll let this be organic and it'll go as it goes. Two things. One was dancing in the storm, and the other one is emotions are real. And I'll just speak in my own experience. I do know, I don't know how, 1 week, 2 weeks, a month, but at some point in our lives, we're going to look back at this time right now and be thinking like, that was a breath of life that I just took, I had to take. There was a moment of my whole life was disrupted. What did I do with it? And in the moment, it's hard to be in the moment to begin with, and we can talk about that too. But it's hard to see yourself in like a third person and being like, what am I doing that's kind of productive? And look at your life. Is it? Am I? Help me out here a little bit. No matter what's going on around on the outside, it is our role, and it is my role as a person to be able to calm what's going on the inside. Because especially being, mentioned children, kids reflect us because they don't have those communication skills, so they just look and they read and they perceive. So if daddy's upset, one, they don't know why dad's upset, but they just feel it. So it is my role to, one, realize, we'll get into the emotions part. Am I sad? Am I angry? Am I depressed? Am I joyful? Like, where is my mind at the moment? And it took me too long of my life to realize that those were even important to begin with. So if I can control my spirit, my attitude, if I can say, hey, I'm going to step into this positive mindset, I'm going to force myself to find something positive in my day. I had the health of my children, the health of myself, the beautiful day that's coming around. I can at least step into a good, get the benefit from that too. Second is emotions are real. I grew up for a good minute, or many years, 25 years or something, thinking that it was that that I can't control my feelings. So the way that I felt, no matter the circumstance on the outside, it could be Corona, it could be divorce, it could be heartbreak, it could be a business drop, it could be dog dying, it could be anything. It's we get presented with many different situations in our life and throughout our day, and it's really our job is to take that anger or that despair, that sadness or that happiness or that joyfulness, and realize like this is something that I can control. In my life, I do not have to stay sad for the rest of the day. And when you can realize if you're sad, if you're angry, if you're happy, the realization of the emotion is probably the hardest thing to begin with. And we'll keep going on with that. What are your thoughts on, how about answer a question for me, is the thoughts that go throughout your mind throughout the day, are they important? Are they real? Let's start with that.
Everything that you are feeling at any moment of the day is real. It is your feeling at that motion. But like going along with what you were saying, just everything, I agreed with all of it. And I think the phrase that I was always taught as I went through just my own life path was that we cannot control what is going on around us. You can't control how someone's going to react to you, but you can control your own reaction. So you are in control of that. So for me, it's to take a deep breath and hold on a second before you like instantly react, because again, you can control your reactions. And if your reaction to something is to be sad or to be angry, again, that is okay. Emotions are real. You're allowed to feel that. You can't truly appreciate being happy if you don't know what it feels like to be sad. So you can have both. It's important to have both, but it's important to understand, how do you react to being sad? So do you allow yourself to wallow and put yourself away? Or do you just notice that you're sad, respect that you're sad, but then figure out what you're going to do with your sadness, or with your despair, or with if you feel hopeless, or if you feel frustrated. I think frustrated is something that maybe a lot of people feel right now, because just life is just weird. Like our routines are thrown off. You can be frustrated. You're allowed to. It's what you do with that frustration that's different. So it's figuring out, and every single person is different. I'm going to have a different way of dealing with frustration. That Sefton has a way of dealing with it, that Angie, that anybody listening, is figure out what your personal best way of turning frustration into a positive, or any of those what we think of as negative emotions, into a positive path. Think of it as something that you can grow from. I've been telling myself this whole week, like, yeah, this is all different. Like, I'm not really a virtual trainer person. That's never really been my thing. That's just a small example, but it's just like, hey, new challenge. Let's figure out something new to be good at. And so if you put the positive spin on it, it's like you're accepting that something is different and something is not natural to you, but you're appreciating some sort of self-growth that could come out of it.
This is cool. I think that we're going in this direction just naturally, because as trainers, we have clients that come in and they have goals. They want to change something about themselves or their lives. And what we have found within ourselves and with our clients is that emotions are really, really, really important, and then they drive a lot of action. So if you can control what's going on and spinning up here, if you can see the emotions when they're sad, if you can kick them out and find some sort of memory or something to focus on that's positive, you can put yourself in a better mood, and it's a lot easier to do your workout. It's a lot easier to eat. It's a lot easier to treat yourself well, which is directly necessary to weight loss or to any sort of fitness gains. The hardest clients, in my opinion, to lose weight are those that also speak very negatively on themselves. Mm-hmm. And it's something like, like internal, external. I've seen it too much. I've experienced it myself. But the way that you think about yourself, the mental diet, so to speak, I've heard that before. I didn't make that up. But if you think it's important, the material or the matter that you put into your body, your mouth, what you eat, it is more important, the material, the data that you bring into your mind. Because you can consume something up here if you believe it, and you can consume something up here and if you eat it. So the thoughts, the emotions, they are the driving force of really what happens on the external. So you fix the internal first, you fight it, you help it, you work it out, so to speak. Because bringing joy into your life and gratitude into your life and peace when you have reason to be angry is not easy, and it's something that we have to work at. It is physically getting underneath the bench press and working out mentally, and you just don't get good at it one day or with one rep. We're looking at like 10,000 reps of you presented something rough, and then you're like, it's not gonna rule my day. Again, it ruled too much of my time, and time is the most important thing that we here have on this beautiful planet. Do we have anybody chit-chatting?
Lots of chatters. Well, for one, can we do this 3 to 10 times a day?
Sure.
That's from Matt.
Hi, Matt.
Hi, Matt.
I heard, brother.
Yeah. Let's see. We got Heather Pollard here. She says, I'm quarantined with my husband, business partner. It has helped to ease the stress of lost revenue and laid off employees by leaning into one another. Our individual lows have not been simultaneous, so we have been able to catch the other as they fall into the low.
Dude, Heather, would you like to come join us?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that is awesome. So no, the purpose of the partner, man, and that's it kind of stems around what we said earlier with like birds of a feather, like if you think your friends are important, you are glued to your spouse and they live in the same house with you. So choosing the spouse, you're past that already, but it's managing your relationship with the person that you live with is absolutely necessary, one, to be able to handle the lifestyle of the business and the children. But before you can handle the relationship best with your spouse, you must handle the relationship with yourself first. So if you're judgy or if you are hard, if up top, if you don't see the positive in yourself, it is hard to naturally and to easily speak out the positive that you see in someone else. So you start inside, you rework. It's like there's like a clock. It's one gear spins a whole lot of gears. And that one gear is really you and how you feel about yourself on the inside, because that is more important than how you feel yourself on the outside. Because you can, in 10 days, somebody can put on 5 pounds, or if you judge yourself by what you are on the outside, something just as easy as breaking your leg can crush everything that you are, that's your identity. If you build your importance from character and from livelihood for what you do to the people that are around you, then it's a lot, no matter what happens externally, it's my body may be broken, but my spirit can remain uncompromised. I took that from a SEAL, Jason Redmond. But it is pretty much what happens is like no matter what happens on the outside, I am still a mother, I'm still a father, I'm still a caregiver, I'm still an important person, and on here, and I'm still important here. And it took me a minute to figure that out, but if you can control what you feel that you are, dude, nothing on the outside can really affect you for long. It will a little bit, but not for long.
I'll speak just because I know, like, we can talk about the partner and the spouse, but in case that's just not your situation, that's okay. If you don't have a spouse, one thing is to remember the person who is like a partner, or anyone who is just your partner in crime. I have an example. So, Heather, if you're watching, I had a moment where I just kind of needed to like breathe the other day, and I needed someone to remind me what it was like to be Keelin. So I called my roommate from college, who's one of my best friends, and we just like chit-chatted and laughed just like it was 2002. And it was just kind of nice to just kind of know that there is the stress of life that's right now, but it's okay because it's right now. Life will keep going. We'll get another stressor next year, whatever it is. It'll happen. But you don't lose who you are as a person at the end of the day. And if you start having those moments where you start to kind of like get wrapped up in what's going on in the world, just remember that you have a spouse or you have your best friends that they know who you are. They know that you're strong enough. They know that they're going to get through it. And they're going to tell you a funny story or talk to you about literally anything else in the world, just to kind of remember that you are still you. At the end of the day, you're going to be fine, and that life is still, it's complicated, but yet all at the same time, yet it's so simple, because we all struggle, but yet we all are just in need of just some happiness and some security. So even if you don't have a spouse at home, you have your friends that you can rely on, and you can just tell them, I don't want to, I think I said that, like, I don't want to talk about this right now. I really don't want to say the word coronavirus for like a hot second, and I don't want to say the word work. I was like, let's like gossip and talk about a stupid movie we would watch in the dorm room. And we did, and it was lovely, and it like completely reset my mind, and that was it. So, and I was like, and then everything was fine again, and I was back to the grind, but I had to balance out. So you have those people in your life no matter who it is.
I love that. I relate to that, and this goes back to like in the depth of being a mom in the beginning. As parents, mom, dad, you lose yourself, right? Mm-hmm. You lose who you really are. And it would take me, like, I just need a break. I need to go around my girlfriends, some of my family, the people that, like, I can just laugh with.
Yes.
Laughter is my salvation.
Yes, absolutely.
I don't want to talk about serious talk. I want to talk about, I don't know, what's in front of us right now, or old stories. It really is true.
Yeah.
Surround yourself with those people when in need.
Yeah, it was super important. And, like, my friend that I was talking about, she lives in Boston. So, I mean, she wasn't right there. It wasn't a physical, like, interaction whatsoever. But you have to remember you can call somebody. And I think we actually even made a Zoom date to watch a movie that we used to watch all the time when we were in college together.
What was it?
This weekend. It's called Committed. It is ridiculous. It is a ridiculous cult movie, and we can quote it. It's one of the only movies I can quote, and I think we're the only two people in the world that's ever watched it. But we're
That makes
gonna
it even
watch
better.
this weekend, and we'll have a girls' night as soon as the kids are in bed, just like old times. And it's just kind of nice to have that balance. So, yeah.
No, these I can actually talk about a ton of points that you guys are bringing up. Well, you said reminder of Keelin, so that was a friend that reminded you of kind of like you. Have you ever noticed that you are a different person around different people, and different friends bring out a different character of you, whether you know it or that you don't? So I'm sure that you act very different in front of your grandmother as you do your best friend, right? So it's not that that's wrong, but it's being aware of that. Your attitude is changing, the manner of thinking or character is changing, and being able to identify which people bring out the best part of Sefton. And that goes as how do you describe best? So what I think is I like the people that I hang around that bring out the thinking side of me, or the challenge side of me, or the deep purpose side of me. So that's a lot of our trainers here. We're driven people, and when we're around each other, it's fire. He catches fire. I can see it. I just get a spark, and sometimes it sets my day. So the power of the people that you're around and those that you choose, it makes life so much easier to get up no matter what's happening around you. And you can see somebody posting something good. You can see somebody waking up and doing their push-ups or going on a trip with their kid. And I'm like, dude, I want to do that. I can do that too. If they're drinking all the water, if they're eating the healthy food, if he's doing something positive at home throughout all of this time, I can too. So the people that are around you that remind you of all those good qualities, take note of them, but also take note of those. It could be coworkers, it could be old friends that like to always remind you of, hey, no, you're still the person that I knew back in high school. And you have to be able to like chop that and be like, I'm changed, I'm different, I'm not self-centered, I'm not cocky, I'm not, I guess, self-driven. That's different, man. I've given my life to a whole different amount of things. So let's try with this. Is how is Keelin, and let's do Angie first, and then we'll do you second.
Okay.
How is Angie different from young Angie to now? I guess how has your character, your visions changed from nation back in college before kids to now? I guess how has purpose of life changed?
Well, I still call myself a kid. I've always been a kid at heart. And unfortunately, a lot of responsibilities have been laid upon me in the last 12 years between kids. I know, business. And it makes it hard because I'm not the responsible business owner, mom some people might look me as. I really am just still kind of immature, like to do silly things. I don't like to be responsible. Matt knows it. He loves when we go out with friends because he loves to see the old Angie. And not that it doesn't get to come out a lot, but I feel like I just have to wear like so many important hats sometimes that I can't always have that side of me. That's everybody from age 25 to where I am now, 41. I mean, everybody has that. But how I love to like dive back into my like younger years and just have that attitude again. I love it. And I tell you, Debbie West Hughes Turner, you're probably not watching, but she's one of my favorite people. Her and my family, my sisters, my brothers. When I get around those people, you see a different side of me. Oh, I'm childish. I love it. And that's what I was talking about, like that. That's where I like to put myself when I am in a like moment where I need to like take a break from everything. That's where I go.
So who's the Keelin that you like to be?
Oh,
so
man.
the childish, goofy. Who do you like to be, and then who around you inspires you to be that?
I think everybody sees me as a very, very self-driven, very independent person. I know I've had people tell me that like horse blinders, I get Keelin blinders. So, and I'm very, very, very focused, and then I tend to forget about things that are going on around me and how it affects and stuff like that. So, and that happens. That is 100% true. But like I also like AJ, like I'm really goofy. I'm the youngest of 6 kids, and like all we do is play. And I'm actually really goofy, and I'm really competitive, and I'm actually a really hardcore extrovert, and I like to be around people. And I think I'm very, very close with my brothers and sisters, but it's like taken a whole nother level lately. Like our family group text message is like giving me life. Like I was
Ding, 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 ding.
like
Matt gets mad at my phone.
11:30 last night, just like cackling hysterically with my brothers and sisters. So it's just like kind of going back again to like, that's Keelin.
Yes.
That was, I'm the baby. And my brothers and sisters, we know how to rip each
rattle.
other better
Yes.
than anybody.
Oh, is that the best?
Yeah, and it's pretty, and it's harmless. It's harmless fun, and it's good laughs, and
Yes.
it's just playing games with them. Like we play games all the time and stuff like that. It's just like remembering that that's who I am. It's not this person who's in charge and take all the responsibility, like how you were saying, Angie. It's just like, I'm the little kid.
Yes.
I'm the baby. I'm the one who is like, hey, we need you to come play kickball. And I thought they wanted to actually play kickball with me, but they really wanted me to chase the ball and bring it back. So, but I didn't care because I just wanted to be involved and play. And it's just remembering that kind of stuff. The people who just want to be goofy with me, those are the people that actually know who real Keelin is, who's just like, hey, what do you want to do? Okay. And then I'm there like, okay, like I'm just that person. So not the person who's like, I need to work all the time, because that was my life for like when I was in grad school, that's all I did was work, and I almost like forgot how to play.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, so no, good stuff.
Play.
So, yeah, and that life is play if you let
know.
it be. And I, unfortunately, for too long, made everything so serious.
Yes.
So yeah, remembering how to play.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. These are all cool things. So what positive things are happening around you, your life, throughout all of this time that is seemingly unproductive, and it seems to be a negative, but if you can step outside and be like, how is my relationship with myself changing? And like you mentioned, like remembering who you are. Like, is this almost giving you a different side of yourself that you forgot? I know it has for me. I forgot how much I love working and building in my garage. I forgot how much I love spending a lot of time with my boy and the goofy time of just being his best friend. And I'm like, dude, this is incredible, because it's easy to get caught up in like the must-dos of life, like work. You get in this work mode, and I'll tell you, like blinders, and it's hard to get out of it, and you have to have either somebody pull you out of it, or you have to have some sort of I guess like tick that can bring you out. But you'll go work. You go to work, you come home work, and you're thinking about work for the next, how can I build my business? How are my clients doing? And many people have these sort of things, but it's easy to get on the highway of work, and we just become blind to all the slow things that are actually the real things in life that we look back and we wish we had more of. The slow things that are happening around is the wife playing with my newborn daughter. I'm like, can I take a break in my day and get out of my work mode to just sit and watch her? Because before you know it, in a blink of my eye, she's an infant, and then now she's walking, and then I don't get to see that mother-daughter relationship. So that's me. What positives are happening around any of our viewers, if we have any? What's changing? What's good? How can you find something positive in all this?
Is anybody chiming in?
Yeah.
Is it
What do you
Matt?
got? There's a lot of people watching. Anybody wants to share anything? I'm here reading off comments.
Yeah, she'll cut us off.
I mean, I can speak. I think the whole world is thinking this right now, though. The hectic, crazy schedules of soccer practices and here, there. Will that change when we come out of this? Are we all maybe seeing a glimpse of a different kind of life that maybe is interesting to us? Like being at home, riding bikes, chalk in the driveway, I mean, I know that's Matt and I have, the people outside. I love that.
Right.
Yes.
Jesse, more white. I love the walkers. Now, they do drive me crazy in my neighborhood because Zoe, the dog, goes crazy. But I love seeing it. And it's like, it's like were these people always out shopping and at restaurants? Like, why are they here now? Why weren't they there, a few weeks ago? I would love to see continue. Seeing more people has been amazing. But I know for Matt and I mean, we keep telling the kids, we will never have this opportunity ever again to be home like this. Like, guys, we got to enjoy every moment of this. So.
I know, I have an example just from last night. I went running. I was so excited about it because I just got over like a really almost career-ending injury. So I was actually running, and I think, again, that was so much of my life that like when I would go outside and run, that was all I was focused on. And I forgot to like take in what was going around me. And again, remembering things that I used to do when I was younger, and I'm kind of a nerd, if anybody didn't know, but like coming back home, it was just so nice, and I like did my cool down. I got a blanket and I laid in our front yard, and I just looked at the stars, and Venus was really bright last night.
That's
and
awesome.
The moon, but like
Love
that's
it.
what I like to do, and just kind of like taking in and just stretching outside and just kind of looking at everything around me, and it was nice to just kind of feel really small in a huge world rather than feel like the world was all on me. So, but yeah, just kind of like remembering just to take it in instead of just being like, I'm out, I got my workout in, I'm back in, cool, check it off, awesome, shower, go. Like I actually was like, wow, it's so nice out. I'm gonna just like stay out here and just kind of be quiet. And it was just really nice. So, and that was stuff that I used to do a long time ago that I just kind of forgot when everything became so
Regimen, schedule. I gotta get to bed. I got an early client tomorrow. I feel like just the slow pace that's happening right now has been a breath of fresh air.
Yeah.
I mean, that is for sure the positive we can all look at in this.
Right. So being in the moment is something that, like you were mentioning, just you felt small, like in a big world. And in my experience, if I am outside of the moment, meaning I'm like living either in the future of what's to come, what do I have to do, what do I have to prepare, or if I'm living in the past, which is what have I done, what's still eating up at my mind. Just a little point of thought, if you're living in the future always, and especially if it's negative, that's fear, that's worry. If you live in the future for a long time, and a lot of the time, it's worry, it's anxiety, which affects you hormonally, which directly affects anything externally as well. But it's hard to do that, hard to notice that, one, what is the feeling of anxiety? Do you know when it comes on? Because it comes on because of a thought, there's a belief, there's something that ticked. Did I shut the front door when I left the house? Or did I turn the stove off? Or it could be 100,000 things. But you get these pops and they will enter your mind, and if you continue to live into the future of what will happen if, there's no way that you can live into the moment, which is something that I didn't know that was real for so much of my life. The only way that I was able to get into it was accidentally when I would work out. I would work out and I'd run hard. And if I ran hard enough, once I'm done, it was like a force into the moment. It was like I could see the trees, I can see the gravel, I can see my feet, and it was almost like, dude, there's a world in front of me that I feel like I've never seen. And that's where my biggest memories came from, is being in the moment. So life will pass you by if you are in the past, which is pretty much depression, or if you are in the future always, which is pretty much anxiety and fear. And if you can be aware and know thyself enough to say, hey, I am there, or I am there, I am not here, you have the choice to change it if you're aware of it. And really how to be able to do that best is breath. In my experience, probably in yours. And this is what we're doing with our vets here at Reemerge, is we have a bunch of vets come in, and this is what, in fact, we do all for ourselves too, but it's a seated, intentional self-placement of peace, or the possibility of peace. So if you can sit down and you can get a little quiet, and if you can close your eyes and inhale and exhale and focus on the way that the air feels on your lips and nothing else. And you can do that 10 times. It's work, because it feels weird. but it'll bring everything down to a subtle level, and then you'll be able to see your world from a clearer window. It's not tainted. It's like you've Windexed your lens of life, and then you can start to make adjustments in self, in business, and in life better. You just get to see more. So slowing everything down is more important than always having everything going. So, does anybody else do any breath work?
I do.
Tell me about it. What did it do for you?
So mine started, I had postpartum depression, like really badly, and I had to start doing, not I had to, but I worked on bringing in meditation and breathing into my life just to help. Again, I am more on the anxiety side of things. So just to kind of like calm down my brainwaves, because again, it's all about how you react to stress. You can't control stress, and that was probably one of my biggest things, is I couldn't control it. Accepting that and then controlling how I react to it. So between just like mindful breathing, I know some people use that phrase, I use that phrase, mindful breathing and just slowing down your brain waves, and practicing that. I think that's a huge thing, is to call it practice, because it is very hard, especially at first. It is extremely helpful. I do it in the morning and I do it at night, just to kind of like set my day and to capstone off my day. It helps a lot just to put yourself into the right mindset. And I do want to make sure that people know that if you want to do this, and I think people should, that it's practice. It takes a while, but just remember, the same way we train our muscles, and it takes time, like to get your gains or your goals, whatever it is, you do the same thing with your brain. The more you practice it, the better you'll get at it, and your brain will actually react to it, like scientifically, not just me just talking. Scientifically, your brain trains the same way. So your brain will, over time, get better at slowing the brain waves down to being, instead of reacting like this, they will be more steady. So, but again, it comes with practice. So it took me a while, but it helps. And then I do notice that when I do get caught up in too much of the world and I kind of forget to do it, I get way more anxious. And then when I'm like, oh my gosh, I haven't like meditated or worked on my breathing in a while, and I bring it back, I almost, like within 2 days, like calm back down. So, yeah.
So you said it's like the more that you practice it, it's just like muscles. You're in the gym, and if you want to grow your biceps, you grab a barbell and you start repping, and then you do it a bunch, and then it starts to hurt. You put the barbell down. Right when it starts to hurt, you really don't. You continue to curl. You continue to work past the discomfort into the place where your body is forced to create change. And I'll tell you, it's always those last few reps that ever really get you somewhere in your fitness desire goal. And it's the same thing that goes over into eating, into your nutrition, and into the way that you think and that you see and perceive yourself and everybody else. Because it's not easy to look at somebody who's kind of a jerk to you and have sympathy for them and say, hey, I bet they're having a bad day. That's hard to do, especially if you were wrongfully treated. You got to be able to be like, hey, you know what? They probably having a worse day than I am. And what that does is it frees you of any sort of mental, resentment against that person. If you can somehow find love for them, it'll break the chains, I promise you. But it's not easy. You got to practice. It's discomforting to eat healthy almost every single day. But with practice, there'll be a shift. At some point, there's like a tipping point, and eventually, everything falls over, and then eating becomes easier. It becomes habit. Treating yourself, speaking to yourself positively becomes a habit, because you can see rationally, my life is getting better by these new changes that I'm implementing in. But my key here is change ain't easy. It's not for me. It's not for my clients. And the notion that walking into a fitness facility and paying, or just downloading a diet like that the work is done upon the giving of the card or the money. And that's just the beginning. Fitness is hard. Discipline is hard. Discipline of the body, of the mind, and of the nutrition is a struggle. And it's a challenge within yourself that you at some point have to look in the mirror, preferably, and be like, can I do this? I am confident. I can be this. I am strong. I am disciplined. And if it's challenging for you to look at yourself in the mirror, we can look at people all day long. Why is it so hard to look at ourselves sometimes? To look in the mirror and say, I'm enough, I'm powerful, I'm strong, I'm loyal, I have purpose, whatever it may be. If you can say that in the mirror and you don't feel awkward, that is a very good step in the direction of actually getting what you're speaking. There is power in thought and there is power in voice. So when you speak something out, one, you're actually getting it out of what's inside. You speak it out, you're becoming conscious of it, but you hear it as well. So speak the things that you wish to be, make them be positive. Speak them out loud, and they will more likely happen the more that you do it. Repetition, exercise. How are we on time? You like it?
I think I guess summarizing everything we've talked about today. The one thing, Vicki Rodell had a comment on here, which I think is pretty good to know, about Zoom. You know, a lot of people right now maybe don't know about Zoom. It's an amazing free app where you can get in touch with a lot of people at one time. Just kind of summarizing everything we're talking about and surround yourself with those people. So if you're watching, you're going to watch this later, download Zoom. It's an amazing application right now to get some laughter, get some social interaction with the distancing thing.
I'm going to
Recap.
All right. The people around you, the people that are around you are important. They are very important. Birds of a feather flock together. If they are positive, it is easier for you to be positive. Dancing in the storm, you can really only control the controllables, the externals, what happens to you. You do not get to control that all the time, but you always get to control how you react to it. Emotions are real, but it's almost like if emotions were sitting in the back seat and you're driving, which emotion are you handing the keys to? If you're watching the media and you're watching TV and if you watch and you become fearful, anxious, sad, whatever that does, you are giving the car keys to that emotion, say, I want you to drive the rest of my day. But it is your job to know who you are, to know where you are emotionally and say, I am not going to let the fear, anxiety, depression, anger, whatever it may be, drive my thoughts and drive my emotions. Breath is good. It brings you into the moment. It's a practice. You have to take time to get up underneath the barbell, to let it burn, to let it get discomforting. Practice your breath. It's awkward in the beginning, but if you do it enough and you can let yourself be awkward enough for a few moments to see the results, it'll probably change your entire life. Keep in mind what are the positives? It's easy to focus upon the negatives that are happening, especially in this situation, but throughout every day. But make a point to find some sort of positive thing that is happening in your life, in someone's life, and in the world. And then it'll change the way that you view someone, it'll change the way you view yourself, and it'll change the way that you view the world. So make it a point to put good food into your diet, make it a point to put good positive thoughts into your day and into your mind. Cha-cha. Anything else?
No, that was it.
Ba-dooms.
All right. If you guys like this today, let us know in the comments below. I think us three and more trainers of ours would be glad to do this. This is kind of fun just chatting today. So again, thanks for tuning in today, and leave us a comment how you felt about our 8 a.m. coffee talk.
We need coffee next time.
I have coffee right here. All right, everybody have a great day, and we will see you soon. Bye.